class. This is the online learning for Unit 2. Okay, we're going to start with the lesson preview on page 14 and 15. And over here there are some Leonardo DiCaprio movies. This is not that important. If you'd like to, you can read through this, but we're not going to go over this page. We're going to do page 15 in class. Okay, so that will be we'll do that in class on the next time I see you. Lesson 1 is on page 16 and 17, and it looks like this. Okay, the grammar section's right here, and this section will be over the present perfect, for, and since, and other uses of the present perfect. We use for and since to describe periods of time that began in the past. Use for to describe a length of time. Use since with a specific time or date in the past. The example question, how long have you been here? You could say, I've been here for 10 minutes. That's a length of time. I've been here for many years. That's a length of time. I've been here since 8 o'clock. That is a specific time in the past. Okay, so be careful. Say, this is okay. Say, they've lived here since 2013. But don't say they've lived here since 5 years. Okay, so make sure if we use since, we use a specific start time. Some other uses, we can use it with always. Here's some examples. I've always wanted to see Car Planet. Car Planet is a fake movie in the book. With ordinals and superlatives, this is the third time I've seen ping pong. So we have I've seen. It's the best movie I've ever seen. So we can use it with ordinals, first, second, third. Superlatives, good, better, best. You can use it with lately, recently, or just. Have you seen a good movie recently? Have you seen it? Or you could say, have you seen a good movie lately? You could say, I've just seen The Beach. What a great movie. You could use it with still and or so far. You still haven't seen Tomato Babies. I've seen it 3 times so far. Let me give you some more examples, especially about this bottom section. So for and since, we use for and since to talk about time. So if we think of the present, today, the past, yesterday, and the future would be tomorrow. I don't know what happened here. It's on the wrong. Somehow got on the wrong section. Sorry about that. That's better. Okay. Let's try again. Talking about the past, the present, or the future. Yesterday, today, tomorrow. For is the length of time. The time starts and the time stops. So you could say for 10 minutes, for 5 days, for 17 years, for a long time. So, I have been making this video for 5 minutes. Okay, so there's a start time, there's a stop time. I have been a teacher for 10 years, start time, a stop time. I have been a student for 13 years, or for 17 years, right? A start time, a stop time. In the sentence, when we use for, in the sentence, we don't know the exact time an action happened. So in this sentence, we say, I lived in Mexico for 1 year. Well, when? 1973, 1986, 1997, 2008, 2014. We don't know from the sentence. We don't know. I played baseball for an hour yesterday. Well, when? 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock? we don't know from the sentence, so we use for. Some examples: I have been in this classroom for 1 hour. I have studied English for 6 years. I have lived in Taipei for 2 months. I lived in the USA for 27 years. For is good for all of these. We don't know when it started. We don't know when it stopped. All right. This stuff won't be on a test, but if you want to study this just for yourself, here you go. For can be used for the past, present, or future. Let's make this easier to read. How about this? For can be used for the past, the present, or the future. So you could say, I played basketball for 3 years. That would be the past. I stopped playing. You could say, I have been a student at SHU for 2 months. That means you're in the present day. Using have been means it's still happening now. For the future, we will use will. I will travel to Russia for 3 weeks, right? It means I didn't go yet, but I will. So you can change, depending on what verb tense you use. Played, simple past tense, will be in the past. Have been means it's happening now, but started in the past. And will means it's in the future, but it will start and it will stop. Okay, since. We use since with a specific time or date. The time started, and it's happening now. So started, and it's happening now. We know when the time started. I have lived in Mexico since 2016. I have been playing baseball since 12 o'clock. Okay, so it means when the person is speaking, they are still playing baseball now. When this person is speaking, they are still living in Mexico. Okay, I have been in this classroom since 1 o'clock. I have studied English since I was 8 years old. I have lived in Taipei since August 2016. I have lived in the USA since I was born. So these are some all examples. We have a time that we started. Okay, your turn. Pause the video. We have 2 days, just a minute, a short time, May 2013, school started, an hour, last month, a long time, 3 months, 9:30, this morning, 6 weeks, 11 years, 2002, I was a child, spring. So which one will we use for, and where will we use since? Pause the video and try to think about the answer. Okay, let's go over the answers. So we would say for 2 days, for just a minute, for a short time, since May 2013, since school started, for an hour, since last month, for a long time, for 3 months, since 9:30, since this morning, for 6 weeks. That one might be a little confusing. For 11 years. Now, if we put a word here called ago, A-G-O, you could say since 6 weeks ago. Okay, 2002, since 2002. Since I was a child, that's a time, that's a start time. And since spring. Okay, if you didn't do well, look at them again, go back and see if you can figure out why you made a mistake. But here are some examples. Okay, so here are some examples. This is about me, Andrew, the teacher. So what would you say? I played football for 10 years. Okay, very good. I've taught English since I was 25 years old. That's the start time. I've lived in Taiwan since 2015. Okay. I lived in Japan for 4 years. Okay. I have been good looking since I was a baby. Very good. All right, so which one is the cutest baby? This one! All right, so you see there, look at this good looking guy. So good looking. All right, just having fun. Okay, when we use always, always means time started in the past and you've done it for a very long time. I have done something for a very long time. So some examples, I've always had short hair. I've always spoken English. I've always wanted to go to Egypt and see the pyramids. I've always loved chocolate. It means I've done these things for a long time. Some more, I've always spoken Chinese. These are from students. I have always brought my cell phone with me everywhere. I have always loved cats. I have always ridden a bicycle to school. I've always loved to draw. Okay. When we use recently or lately, you use recently in the after the subject in the sentence. We use lately at the end of a sentence. Okay. And we've done it for a shorter time. I've recently got a haircut. I got it last week. I've taken an English test lately. I took it yesterday. I've recently learned about the pyramids of Egypt. I learned about them in history class on Thursday of last week. I've recently bought some chocolate at Costco. Okay, some student examples. I've recently gone to Hong Kong. I have recently bought a cup of noodles at the convenience store. I've recently studied Korean. I've recently bought a car. I have recently read a book. Okay, and we could change some of these to lately. I have read a book lately. Okay. Next, just. We use just for a very short time. Okay, the past, a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago, yesterday, or 2 hours. Okay, I've just got a haircut. I got it this morning. I've just taken an English test. I took it an hour ago. I've just learned about the pyramids of Egypt. I learned about them in history class yesterday. I've just bought some chocolate at Costco. Some more. I have just bought some cookies at the store. I've just talked about you. I've just finished my homework. I've just learned about China's history. I've just spoken English in class. So it means I've done these a short time ago. Maybe today, maybe yesterday. We don't know. Okay, so this is a little different. Still and so far means you have done something for a continuous time. Continuous is a word. It means you start and you don't stop. You start and you still do something. It can be an affirmative or negative sentence. It could be a long time ago. It could be a short time ago. Okay, so here's a little dialogue. So imagine person A saying, "Do you still play the piano?" That means someone played the piano and they're asking if they do it today. I started playing the piano when I was 8 years old. I still play the piano today. So 8 years old, I still play it today, right? Play the piano, play the piano. But I still haven't learned any music by Mozart. So that means in this whole time, they did not learn any music by Mozart. So you still haven't learned any music by Mozart? They're surprised. Okay, so in this sentence, or in this dialogue, you could do, in these sentences, you could say, I've lived in Taiwan for 2 years. So far, I've been to Toroko National Park 8 times. So this would be 2 years. I haven't seen Sun Moon Lake so far. So that means in 2 years you didn't go to the lake. If you said I've been at SHU for Shushin University for 3 months so far, that means I've been here for 3 months. So far I like it. So far so good. That means in this 3 months I like it. In these 3 months it's good. Okay, so here's some examples. I've always worked out. I've always carried cigarettes. I've recently found a new restaurant. I found it last month. I have recently gone to school late. Yes, this student was late to class. I have just worked for an hour. I have just bought cookies at the supermarket. This is a hungry student. I still have a bicycle. I still haven't played tennis. That means they've haven't played tennis their whole life. I have been Taiwan. Whoops, this sentence doesn't make sense. Should say I have been living in Taiwan so far. That's better. And then I haven't gone to the USA so far. So that's how some ways we can use them. And for ordinals and superlatives, just a reminder, ordinals are numbers, are first, second, third, and superlatives are words like good, better, best, bad, worse, worst, big, bigger, biggest, small, smaller, smallest, fun, more fun, most fun, boring, more boring, most boring, and so on. Okay, so that is the end of the grammar section for lesson 1. You have a homework. This is for 20 points. I'm just going to check if it's finished or not finished. So just for practice. Don't worry about being perfect yet. On page 16, do part A. Okay, so here's part A. Just choose the correct word to complete the paragraph. So read the sentence and circle for or since. There are 10 questions. So short homework, should only take you a few minutes. Not that bad. In class work. Oops. We'll skip this. Okay. Lesson 2 on page 18 and 19. Okay, lesson 2, we're going to go over these in class, but just a quick pronunciation. This is an action film, horror film, a science fiction film, an animated film, a comedy, a drama, a documentary, a musical. Okay, so we'll go over these in class and do a little activity. Same thing with part B and C. This will be done in class. For the online work, we'll do the grammar box at the bottom. We have ways to express wants and preferences. So for these, we're going to use would like. We use would like plus an infinitive, that's to and a base form of the verb, to politely express or ask about wants. So here it says, I'd like to go to the movies. The infinitive is to go. For a question, would she like to see the dancer? The infinitive is to see. What would your friends like to do? The infinitive is to do. So we use would like. So here, I would like. For a question, would she like? For a what question, you can say, what would your friends like? Okay, your friends is just 2 words, but it's still it's just one noun. It's one thing. Okay, so you can say I, she, we, they would like to see a comedy. I'd like, she'd like, we'd like, they'd like. Okay, for would rather. we use would rather and a base form to express or ask about a preference between two or more activities. So if you use would like, we use to. Would rather, we do not use to. Would your children rather see an animated film or an action film? So it's would rather see, not would rather to see. It's would rather see. What would you rather do? Go to a movie or a play? So two things. Two things. She'd rather see a less violent film than Gangs of New York. So we're using just the base form. She'd rather see. And we use would rather not and a base form to express a negative preference. We'd rather not watch TV tonight. This just means we don't want to watch TV. So yes, all of this would like is just a nice way to say want. I want to go to the movies. Does she want to see the dancer? Okay, so for yes or no questions, would you like to see a documentary? So we have would like to see. Yes, I would. No, I wouldn't. Would they rather stay home? So we use rather, no to. Rather stay. Like to see. So would they rather stay home? Yes, they would. No, they wouldn't. Or no, they'd rather not. So some things to be careful of over here. We say, would you rather see Titanic? You say, yes, I would. Not, yes, I would rather. Would they like to go out tonight? Yes, they would. You don't say, yes, they would like. Would your parents like to go to the early show? You say, yes, they would. Not, and we don't say, yes, they'd. Okay? So here's some examples. Here are some examples. So would like is something you want to do. It's a polite way to say it. You could say, I want to go to the movies. You could say, I would like to go to the movies. Okay? It just sounds nicer, more polite. I want to have a pizza, or I would like to have a pizza. Would like is something you want to do. It is a polite way to say it. So, to make a question, you could say, would subject like to do something. So would I like to see the Joker? Okay. Would she like to have some coffee? So if we use like, we use to. Would he like something to drink? Would you like to watch a movie? Would they like to go out on Saturday? Okay. Like to go. Like to watch. All right. If we use what to make a question, what would your friends like to do? What would you like to have? So he's like to, like to. What would you like to drink? What movie would you like to see? Where would you like to go on Saturday? So like to, like to, like to. Okay, so answer, I would like to go to a restaurant. I would like to see Tenet. I would like to see Star Wars. Okay, remember we use to. All right, we use would rather about two activities, and we just use the base form. We do not use to. Would you rather watch Joker or Star Wars 9? Would Mary rather eat pizza or a hamburger? Would your children rather see an animated film or an action film? What would the students rather make a video or speak in front of the class? So if you have two verbs, they are both in the base form. I would rather watch Joker. I would rather eat pizza. I would rather see an action film. I would rather speak in front of the class. Okay. So if you have a choice of two, you could say, what would you rather do? Put a colon here, and then base form of the verb. Go to a movie or watch Netflix. Oops. So what would you rather watch? Joker or Star Wars 9? What would Mary rather eat? A pizza or a hamburger? What would the students rather do? Make a video or speak in front of the class? So we use the base form, go, watch, eat, or make. Okay, and I forgot to underline the do here and the do here. My mistake. Okay, for an answer. She'd rather see a less violent film than Gangs of New York. I would, or I'd rather watch Joker. Mary would rather eat a hamburger than a pizza. The students would rather make a video than speak in front of the class. Or the students would rather go home than do any speaking. Okay, so we use the base form: see, watch, eat, make, speak, go, or do. All right. So which would you rather is a choice of three or more. Which would you rather do? Eat a pizza, eat a cake, or eat a steak. All right. Which would you rather do? Travel by plane, travel by car, or travel by train? Using the base form. And you can use different verbs, of course. So which would you rather do? Ride on a train, dance in the rain, or feel no pain? That's from a famous movie. If you know the movie, I'll give you a bonus point. All right. So yeah, this is just a silly picture. Okay. Using the negative with not. We're almost finished. We'd rather not watch TV tonight. I'd rather not watch any movies. Mary would rather not eat pizza or hamburgers. She'd rather have chocolate. Right? The students would rather not do any homework. They would rather watch movies. Okay? And we use the base form. Watch, watch, eat, do. Okay? The homework section. Please do on page 19, please do part A. I'm going to check it for 10 points and just if you're finished or not finished. So over. Oops. I don't have a picture of part. Okay, well, I'm sorry about that. This is on page 18. Just go to page 19 in your book. You'll see it. It's okay. All right, so that's in-class activities. That's the end of the book. That's the end of lesson 2. Okay, lesson 3. Page 20 and 21. Here are some adjectives to describe movies. So this is so funny, something that makes you laugh. Hilarious, very, very funny. So this is like ha ha. This is like ha 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 ha. Silly is not serious, almost stupid. Boring, not interesting. I hope you don't say that I'm boring. I'd be so sad. Okay. Weird, very strange or unusual. In a negative way, usually, but sometimes it can be positive. It just depends. Unforgettable, something you are going to remember. Romantic is about love. Thought-provoking, something that makes you think. Violent, bloody, with a lot of fighting and killing. Okay. So I found a funny movie. And I thought this was a hilarious movie. Okay, this one was haha, but this one was so funny. I love this movie. Okay, this is a silly movie, right? Kind of stupid. If you guys seen the Beyond Beauty, that's the English title. Many people think that it was quite boring. I don't know if you've seen this movie, Pan's Labyrinth. It was quite weird, strange, but also very interesting. So I recommend watching it. Harry Potter, The Deathly Hallows, about the seventh and eighth movie. Those were unforgettable. So great. Me Before You is a romantic movie. I thought Inception was a thought-provoking movie. Maybe Tenet was thought-provoking, but I didn't understand it, so Inception was thought-provoking. Okay, oops, got cut off here. Violent, if you've seen the movie 300, it's just about a war. It's very, very violent. Okay, so your homework, whoops, should say your homework for 10 points. No, sorry, this is not going to be for points. Just please think of one movie. Think of a funny movie. Write the name here. Please use the English name if you can. Hilarious movie, a silly movie, and so on. Okay. We will do this in class, but I'm not going to check this for points. Okay. Lesson 4 is on page 22 and 23. And we're going to discuss the effects of violence on viewers. There are some vocabulary in here, and we'll just go over them. This is realistic, looks like a real person. Unrealistic, obviously a fake. This is aggressive, okay? Usually someone who's kind of angry, might want to fight, that's aggressive. Limit means to stop something. So if you are trying to lose weight, you want to stop the amount of sugar that you eat. So maybe, one candy bar, maybe that's okay. But 2, 3, 4, no, too much. Stop. That's the limit. So limit means to stop something. Encourage, it can mean to help someone, or it means you want more of something. So this woman is trying to encourage this woman, say, hey, feel better, okay? So we want more good feelings. Discourage means you want to stop something, say, don't do this, don't do that. Murder, okay? So if you kill someone, that's a murder. Bad behavior, okay, would be doing something, kind of naughty or bad, right? This boy right here doing some bad behavior. Bad boy. Okay, if you are to help someone, okay, helping this guy. To harm someone, right, means to hurt them. Permit is to say something that's okay, or you could say, yes, I agree. Maybe she's going out on a date, I don't know. Prevent means to stop something. A consequence, so this man, he pushed down this, these are called dominoes, but he pushed this down, and the eventual consequence, it's going to get him. An advantage, this green man has an advantage. He's ahead of people, and he's a little higher than other people. Couple more vocabulary. A pediatrician is a doctor for children. Reality would be the cat. An illusion would be, the shadow. Okay, that's an illusion. It's not real, but it appears to be real. And the last one, antisocial, is when you're kind of by yourself, and the opposite, pro-social, would be together. So that's the vocabulary for the Unit 4, and we are done. This is the end of the video lesson. Thank you very much. See you in class.